Should
All
I
the
like pop
Hawaiians
out
will
of it?
feel upset.
Was that cute? Or
Yeah,
was
that was cute.
That was not.
Welcome! Today on Beige Bays, we are covering a very important topic that I've been asked about many a time by different friends. And so I thought I'd make a video about it because before I studied abroad, I looked up a lot of videos on YouTube about how to do things and how to prepare myself. And so I feel like I want to add to that collective grouping of videos. So this one is going to be a frequently asked questions about study abroad. Number one, where do I start? Well, the answer is every university's got a study abroad office or like an international students office, and I would say the first thing to do is make an appointment with an advisor there. Sometimes they have information sessions like presentations across campus about the generic like how to study abroad presentation. So I would find those first, and that will it'll dip your little toe into the information you'll need to know. So that's where I would start. The second question I always get asked is how do I finance it? And then so it depends on where you're going. So if you're going to a place like let's see, an expensive country like England, your living expenses will probably be more than they are here in America, but you'll still be like technically, you won't be paying more than you usually pay to go to your university because they have exchange programs, and the person who's coming to study here is paying their home university and you're paying yours. You're just in different locations. So you shouldn't have to pay more for school. It's just kind of like living expenses. So I know someone who studied abroad in Mexico, and she actually spent way less money than she would have spent here in America. So it kind of just depends on like where you go. And every university wants to encourage their students to study abroad, so they're going to have like scholarship options for you. They sometimes cover your flight depending on when you apply, so just pay attention to the application dates, and then you should be fine. Like it shouldn't be much more than when you're normally going to school. And that's like one of the biggest draws about it is like you're just doing school but in another country. So why not? And then the next question I get is like, what are the systems in place like once you get there? Because a lot of people are nervous about going out on their own and like making friends in a new country with a different language. And I didn't go to a country that speaks a different language because I went to England. But I know a lot of people who went to different like foreign countries where they had to actually navigate on their own. And the coolest thing about studying abroad is like after university, if you do travel, you're kind of like by yourself. But with the university, you are greeted at the airport, you're picked up at the airport, you're taken to your university by someone who goes to that university, and they kind of guide you through orientation. And then at orientation, most schools have like an international student orientation, and you will meet a lot of other people who are studying abroad just like you. So I would say that it's pretty easy to like make friends because everybody's in the same boat and they're like, I need someone. And you're like, I need someone too. And so I think that friendships happen faster in those situations, and I don't think that's anything you should necessarily worry about because they're supposed to take care of you, and it's cool to have like a little safety umbrella above you the whole time while you're still being independent. So I would say don't fear about that because it's pretty easy. Another question I get is like, is school difficult? Again, it would have to depend on which university you go to. I was actually thinking that my university in England would have been really hard, but I took elective classes there. So one of my classes was called Enhancing Employability, and we just worked on resumes for a semester. It was pretty nice. It kind of depends like what your university advisor says that you need, and then what electives you're willing to give up to just have a fun experience abroad. So I would say it really depends. I had a friend who was studying neuroscience, so yes, of course, her classes were difficult. Like literally anywhere she would have gone. But if you have elective classes left over, I would just highly recommend taking those so that you don't have to worry about whether it's hard or not. And then, yeah, but just check with your university advisor as like if those classes will transfer. And then the last thing is safety. Is it safe to go abroad? And you know what's so weird is that I have met people while I'm across the world and they're scared of coming to America. So it kind of is like the news feeds us different things to be scared of. And I feel like there are definitely countries you should avoid because they really are like civil wars happening in them.
On the do not travel list.
On the do not travel list. But most places, like, I feel like if as long like I said, there is a safety umbrella above you, and universities would not be sending American students to places where they didn't think that they would be safe. And so I think that you should keep that in mind and not let it stop you from traveling anywhere. But you should like take some extra precautions, like get some good travel equipment, keep your passport safe, keep your money safe. And then I think we can do another video about those specific things sometime, but I would just say to not let that stop you from going because, yeah, like I said, universities would not partner with a country where they thought that their students were going to be in danger. So, yes, I encourage you to do it because it's super fun, and like I said, it's basically like you're doing school but just in a cooler place. So, if you have any more questions or any more advice that I didn't cover, please leave a comment down below. Melissa.
Has she been watching?
No.
I've been sending them to her every week.
And she hasn't been watching.
I don't think so. I don't think she even.